What happened here? That void woken had someone in its claws. Just a caravan. I remember one just like this picking me up. Could have been a shipment to Fort Joy. But what happened here?
White as drift.
Back! Get back! I'll kill you, just like the rest of them.
She slumps, all bravado.
No. I've never seen anything like those beasts before. Are they gone?
She quails at your touch, shrinking back from you. Her eyes widen and lose focus, as though she's seeing something played out before...
Yes, worst ones I've ever seen. Ripped through the Magisters. The dwarves, dead, dead, dead.
She flinches at the...
Good find. I've spotted something.
Get yourself in check, boy. I won't have you running off like Millicent and Tully. You'll just end up sliding down some Voidwoken's gross gullet.
The older-looking Magister notices your presence. He wipes his grubby hands downward across his greaves, as if to wipe...
Halt, Scaleskin! What word do you bring?
His face goes pale, and his eyes open wide. The Magister...
The Voidwoken come.
Hush, Fedder. You may pass, Lizard. Dare say he'll be aching to leave before long anyway. But before you do, find Raymond, the White Magister. He'll want to know what you've seen. Be quick, mind. He's set to sail and...
He nods his head in the...
As long as you stay put, you'll be safe.
This town doesn't look much equipped to entertain a nobleman like myself. Pity.
My word, but you do look exhausted. I bet you could use a touch of magic.
Keeping it together, Ree? I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Don't come over while you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Would you like to know?
Yup.
Keeping it together, Ree? I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Back for a return visit, are you?
Keeping it together, Ree? I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Don't come over while you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Would you like to know?
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Yep.
Smells worse.
You needing supplies? I'd stock up if I were you. It's madness out there. Never seen anything like it.
I don't come visit you, Ton. Who will?
Until later, then.
Wars are brewing, my friend, and we may find ourselves on different sides, in which case prices will go up. Buy now while you still can.
Keeping it together, Reed. Never forget. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Well, don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit you, Ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Reed.
Your fresh sticks of the void. What kind of rat would sell such filth?
You're safe among friends.
The kind that don't fancy starving along with the rest of this town. It's all well and good for you with your rations. We've got to take what we can get.
Keep talking, Wolf, and you end up eating sawdust for
How
the
you
south
holding
lawn.
up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Keeping it together, Reed.
Tell me, have you heard any news?
Nothing good. The void woken are everywhere.
You're safe among friends.
Thank the divine you're here to protect us.
Yes, of course.
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Well, don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit you, Ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Keep hauling that cargo.
That's it.
The silent
barrel's
monk.
ended. On the go on, you mute sack. The Lord Dread awaits. Its sails billow.
The Magister stops, barking orders. He sniffs the air like a predator, turns to face you, the wolf eyeing the deer.
You do not get to make that decision. That decision is mine. Tell me, have you ever been strung up by the hands? Your body swinging like a bell's clapper as your bones are being broken with cast iron rods? We do cruel things unto others and unto...
He licks his lips. Dry.
See, I'd like to string you up too. Rack you with rods and leave you dangling over a puddle of your own blood and piss.
His sliver of a smile could rival a rattler's.
I'm very good at what I do, see? There was a whiff of something in the air when you approached. A current best convinced me I was mistaken.
He leans in closer and sniffs the air once.
Interesting. So I was mistaken. Must have been ambition I smelt on you, not the very well. In that case, we'll forego the gallows and turn straight to the hunt. Seems peaceful here, doesn't it? A quiet day and what they do. Consider for a moment I've need of a rat catcher. Of course, I must depart post-haste, but Julian here will stay behind and be a...
Stay behind? But I've my orders, same as you.
Like I said, Julian. And with that, I must be off. No hard feelings about the death threats, of course. How about we part shaking hands instead of stringing them up? How very... One last thing. The Magisters here are diligent men and women. A stranger like you may run in. Should this happen, just wave this piece of parchment in their eager little faces. My signature will placate them without fail, I assure you. Adieu and good luck. The Lord Dread awaits. The time has come, my stitch-lit lovelies. We set sail. Get on board and man.
They don't come visit your tongue. Who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
The door has been sealed shut. The Magisters have nailed a notice to the door.
You can't go in, miss. They was very angry about it.
This place has seen better days.
A stone door lies flush with the floorboards. Etched whorls in the granite. The dial turns freely under your fingers. You give it a... The dial turns freely under your fingers. The dial turns freely under your fingers. You give it a couple of spins, yet not. The dial turns freely under your... The dial turns freely under your fingers. You give it a couple of spins, yet nothing happens. If this is a battle of wits, it looks like the stubborn lock's winning. The dial turns freely under... The dial turns freely under... No amount of sheer force you exert can budge the slab even a hair's breadth. The dial turns freely under your fingers. The dial turns freely. The dial turns... The dial turns... The dial turns...
Maybe we should find the Meister. Malady seemed to think she could help.
Know what they've done to you. I did not get out. Release me!
I'll yield. No.
The lizard hangs from the gibbet, her face blooded and her scales discoloured. Her eyes are closed, but her tongue flickers as you...
Welcome to Driftwood.
One bloody eye cracks open, glittering gold appears...
Chased you all the way here from Fort Joy, did they? Or indeed you could stand there still as a boiled lobster. You seem to have... Be quick about it before the next Magister patrol realises something is amiss. God's teeth, it feels good to move again. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a house to secure. Meet me at my...
The Meister sits slumped in a chair, looking around the room as she works her shoulder with one hand. It looks like it was dislocated by...
Damnable red-cloaked baboons ransacking my wardrobes, as if I would keep ancient valuable secrets in a pile with my
She takes a deep breath, and with a twist, a click, and a screech of pain, she shoves her shoulder...
I swear by the seven if...
Reaching across the table, she pulls a bowl of hot water towards her and fishes some bandages, a needle and thread out of a box. She slowly starts to tend to her wound.
At least the barbarians were unable to club their way into my vault, so everything you need should be safe. Enthusiasm? On a weekday? My word. We shall begin once we have the tools we need from my vault. You may have been chosen God-woken, but becoming divine requires more than a supernatural pat on the head. Come, God-woken. It is time to see just how awake you are. Perhaps you have noticed the safe in the floor. You will find it just beside the wall bed. Kindly enter the combination as I call it out. I believe you are capable of that.
The stone door remains just as it was when you last saw it, rigid and unmovable. Only the rotary dial crowning it can be persuaded to stir. Taking your time, you carefully enter the combination. The metallic sounds of the tumblers falling within the mechanism let you know you entered the...
Excellent. Follow me. Your time is at hand, God-woken.
Ancient runes, weird contraptions. This place is an arcanist's dream.
Feel free to look about while I catch my breath. Come speak to me when you wish.
The Meister is examining her wounds, prodding at this, wincing at that. Her face...
Do you know what it means to have the power of the divine, God-woken? You've been playing pretend all your life, but the reality is quite no. Becoming the divine means taking on the power of all the gods and the responsibility. The divine was created by the gods to shelter us from the void. The divine cannot use his power for anything else. Very well, then. Let's see if we can't snatch divinity. The ritual itself is quite simple. Drop some blackroot in the bowl, mix in a little blood. Ignore any feelings of dizziness, burning in your lungs, or a dire sense of existential dread. They're all perfectly normal, although you will need to sacrifice a little sauce along the way. Everything you need is here. The ingredients are in the cupboard, the sauce in the fountain. The ritual is described in the tome by the bookcase, and, well, I'm sure a fine reptile like yourself...
The Meister looks back at her wounds, curiously prodding them as fresh blood oozes out, staining her claws.
And please do not lose anything. I pray you'll be more careful with my materials than with your...
Opening the door, you see as after a quick rummage, you gather up the black root of... As you suck the smoke deep into your lungs, your vision, as the world fades away, you lose all sense of...
The deepest recess of my soul. But it looks like the Hall of Echoes.
Bathed in the half-light of these stars, it looks haggard.
Red Prince, come. Look me.
The apparition clasps your face.
Blind eyes, speak the spell, and see.
Gone is the strange mirror image of yourself. Before you stands the goddess Zolstissa in all her spectral...
You know me now, don't you? Your god-woken soul.
Zolstissa.
Eyes. Just the void for our very survival. It's a battle to save us. You must realize, Red Prince, that together we are a force to be That means there is but one place we can go. The Well of Ascension. It most certainly will be. The Well of Ascension is we gave them up freely to create the first. That is where the road to divinity leads. And you must... I know. One must never... The void is only he who claims everything, I hope. But of course, only one. So but don't let that dismay you. For the high-powered laughter, you are quite weak. So, once you have, you may return to me here. Something that will make you understand that for a god, there is precious source in you. Speak the spell during your peregrinations, and you... And so, best of luck.
The Meister stares intently at you. Her eyes are tired and bruised.
Still alive?
She leans in.
Tell me, what did you see? What you know?
She sighs impatiently as...
You can't channel enough source. Gods be damned, why couldn't you have a nice simple problem? I know exactly what must be done. You must find a master of source. And I could have had the purging which Not enough to silence me, but enough that I would not turn their insides to lime. Enough to sever my link to the font from which all source flows, and certainly enough that I cannot train you. So we must seek alternatives. Alas, the only source masters not yet hauled off to Fort Joy or turn into meat puppets are those too dangerous or cunning for the Magister's sorcerers that allowed their power to corrupt them. Many are wicked, cruel, vile, and generally not good teacher material, but we may have no others to turn to. Just so, some of these are quite dark, twisted individuals. The kind of creatures that grew bored pulling their legs from spiders and so... However, it is the path we walk, no matter what the cost. No matter...
The Meister doubles over in a violent coughing fit, struggling for breath. After a few moments, she regains her composure, wiping it...
No matter what is asked of you, you must learn from them. And you do not seem to be paying attention. Sorcerers, evil, controlling your source, saving Rivellon, please. Your focus, your only focus, must be on finding these masters. The Magisters have kept ledgers with all known sorcerers, especially the powerful ones not yet captured. They would be an invaluable resource, but do be careful not to get caught. I was their guest for a time. And I promise you the gallows was the most comfortable part of the experience. And if their barracks turns out to be as empty as their skulls, just try to keep an ear to the ground. There may still be powerful sorcerers hiding in these lands.
As she speaks, one of her wounds reopens, a dark red stain spreading across her tunic. She hisses in frustration and starts to bind.
I wish there was more I could do, but in this condition I would be more a hindrance than a boon. Godspeed, and remember, do whatever it takes.
The Meister sits slumped in her chair. You notice that some of her scales have dropped to the floor.
What news? Can you channel enough source? Are you... Then why, pray tell?
The spirit of an elegant elven woman materializes before you. She seems surprised.
You can see me. A god woken in my presence. I am the Meister's apprentice. I study under her, but I do not learn. I hear tales of the ritual. Meister tells me it cannot happen, that I am not god woken. But in my heart, I know I am special. No air fills my lungs, only fire. When the darkness falls, I cannot cry out. I leave my life behind with a shame.
The spirit looks at you regretfully.
It is hard to hear of such power and not covet it for yourself. I lie to myself and convince myself that I am special, but I am not special. Yes, of course.
What's this? Damn it, Barwell, you're supposed to be stopping intruders. There's still a fugitive on the loose.
It's Belworth, sir. And
I don't care. Keep on alert until this fiend's head is on a spike. I don't want to end up like the others. Now, you... What do you want, lizard? You can't just come in here as you please. There's magisters missing. I'm trying to conduct a bloody investigation. Well, mind your bloody step in future. I've an investigation to carry out, and I don't need any more distractions. Yes, a vile little tinkerer goes by the name of Higba. 3 of my magisters have gone missing of late from right here in Driftwood. All signs are that Higba is responsible. Catching, killing, I don't care. There'll be gold for whoever puts an end to this. If you see anything, tell me or my men at once. Otherwise, keep the hell out of our way. Well, do you know anything? Stop wasting my time, then. I have to stop these disappearances. My career is at stake.
The Magister grumbles under her breath.
Bloody bastard will never get my name right. I've been under his command for almost a year.
Bellwether, I need those...
Magister Carver's got all the information he needs locked up downstairs. So don't think you'll get a reward for peddling hearsay. That's all you have to say. You may as well leave me to it then. Of course, sir. Right away.
The Meister sits slumped.
What news? Can you channel enough source? Are you powerful enough to proceed? Then why, pray tell?
A most vile incident.
He fixes you with a stare, looks you up and down, weighs you up, the cut of your cloth, the weight of your bag. A moment passes. Then a smile creases his face, a smile carefully constructed.
Greetings, my lord. Looking to ease the pain of a decaying world? You're in the right place. Beers are ordered at the bar, but can I interest you in a...
He purses his lips. His fingers drum a pattern on his elbow as he assesses you. A lascivious smile spreads across his...
Let me ask you this. Across the world, who is renowned above all others for their exquisite love-making abilities? My dear Prince, I'm sure this is true, but I believe one of your kin is even more talented than your good self, and for an insignificantly small sum...
He holds out his hand. The money vanishes into his apron.
Now, let me ask you this. What flavour of stew do you prefer? Do you like the strong and meaty variety? Or do you prefer it delicate and upstairs on the second floor? Her name is Zara. Pleasure is her business. Enjoy.
He gives you a mischievous grin.